Good morning, good morning. What is going on, everyone? I hope that we're having a great one so far today. It is Wednesday. The market has just opened. The bell has rung. Going to be pulling up the SPY here really quickly. It's already Wednesday. Pretty crazy to say that. It's weird whenever you don't have a trading day on Monday like that. Ryan says gold gapped up bigly again. Oh no. Still using the biglies out here, I see. Ding, 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 Joe Papa says, I spy with my little eyes. No market opening bell. I know, Jake. I'm sorry. I'm actually pulling it up again. I had a power outage this morning. A quick one about an hour ago. Sorry about that. Power outage, though, got me. Reopening everything. Tesla dropped off pretty hard there at open. 336 overhead resistance. There we go. I wish I could have it just play it now for fun. Looking at the watch list today, Google's leading the way. GOOGL. They had some good news right at the end of the day yesterday that they don't have to pursue a sale of Google Chrome. So that was good news for them. We can see right here. They avoid breakup. Sounds pretty good. At least sounds good to me. Yeah, that's a big level though. 228, 230 is pretty huge as well. Bank of America trying to get moving a little bit better. JP Morgan sitting right around 300. We might see a bit more the breakout here. It's a big level, big psychological level. SMR is up a lot. Look at them ripping it open. They're continuing off of yesterday's action. They're already up almost 8%, but they are ripping into the $40 resistance, actually past it here. Wow, SMR surprising me today. Oops. It's not the one I wanted to open. There we go. Ryan loves it. Let's go see Palantir here. Pulling back a little bit. 156.40, 156.35. Is pulling back down a little bit. Figured I'd look at them. They had a pretty good recovery yesterday as well. Going to the SPY, though. Pretty nice move. Now, SPY is actually sitting on a critical area of resistance. We can see here. This resistance is huge. We've seen multiple hits and bounces right off of this range. I'm watching very carefully for a possible rejection back. If we end up blasting through 644, then might have to start to look at something to the upside, but ultimately I'm kind of waiting for some red here as September starts to play out. As we know, the seasonality does not go the best for September. Make sure you guys are destroying the like button as you join up here. If you don't, you know who I'm sending over.
How dare you!
What's up, Juan? Yeah, GLD again. Gold just continues to get it done. 328. Gosh, it's getting crazy. How's silver? Oh, yeah. Now to see some of these gold mining stocks. We got B2 Gold Corp hitting around 434. Let's go check out like Barrick Gold, AEM. Not terrible. They're holding their ground a little bit. Let's see AEM. Agnico Eagle Mines. Okay. AEM. Pretty good movement. They touched 150 today, though, which kind of sucks. Big resistance there. Nonetheless, though, the gold stocks are doing pretty good. I especially like GLD, though. It looks even better than a lot of the gold individual stocks. Like the old ETF here. GDX is a mining ETF. That one's not bad either. A lot better than some of those individual miners. What sectors are you guys watching today? Anything interesting that you're keeping your eyes on? American Eagle, AEO, reports tonight. I'm going to love that one. AEO, Sydney Sweeney. It's pointing up pretty well here on the chart. Now, you shouldn't play earnings based off of a chart setup, for sure. And I mean, you shouldn't really play earnings anyways. But nonetheless, I think that AEO is in a great setup here and a very bullish setup. Now, again, just because it's in a bullish setup does not mean earnings has to go well at all. But I'm loving the way that it's holding up around that recent high. You might start to see a little breakout coming through. You know, they might talk about some positivity coming from some of their moves that they've made. I think they said Travis Kelce was even getting it moving a little while ago. It was moving that day that Taylor Swift got engaged. What else was? Signet, SIG. Yeah, SIG was another one. Oh, they reported earnings like yesterday. Okay. I didn't know that. Signet. Sorry, Signet. Running up. $95 overhead. Nice pre-market high there. Like 96, but hasn't really gotten going too much after those first couple initial pumps. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, good morning. What's up? It's time for that coffee. Anybody having anything crazy today? Any energy drinks out there? You know me, nice and normal with the Gatorade as usual. Haven't been having anything too crazy lately. Hey, let's go. Is that the yellow one, Ryan? If it's the yellow one, I get those every week. I drink like 6 of those a week, Ryan. That's crazy. Yep. Citrus. Just water for chill. I have a tall glass of SPY puts. There we go, Ryan. Ryan L. $643, $644. I like it, Ryan. I mean, it's a big resistance here. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I buy a 6-pack like every week. Probably my favorite drink out there. Juan says, SPY puts. That sound juicy. The good thing about the SPY puts today would be if it just rips above 644, you could just cut real fast. So that's the good thing about it here. I would say the negative is that it ripped up so well yesterday. It's like, what type of momentum was that? But it actually means that the SPY isn't too overextended down. Like, if we would have been down here this morning, opening up, you know, low like that, it'd probably be a little freaky as far as, like, overextension. So, not the worst thing ever to see that slight pullback yesterday. And I love that it's giving us that risk-reward ratio with the 644 resistance. You'd set it up kind of like this. You know, you could target, hell, probably down to 640 or something, honestly. Maybe even more. The further you go, the less your chances of hitting it are, but they're always on sale. I wish that they were for me. Michael said, or maybe Barrick. If I want to go long on gold, should I just do GLD or maybe Barrick? You know, I like GLD. I think GLD is a little bit better, Michael. Here's another one that's actually pretty good and solid is GDX. GDX essentially takes miners like Barrick Gold and it puts them all into one ETF. And it actually does pretty good. Like, look in the bottom right. It's up 1.04% today. GLD's up 0.4%. It does move a little bit better from what I've seen. So GDX could be a good one to look at. I do gotta say, though, it seems very overextended. So you just have to have a little caution. But GLD would be the safer one, if we're being honest. Although it doesn't seem like that on the chart, but it ultimately is. GDX will have a lot more volatility, in my opinion, because gold miners can actually get kind of wild. If we look at the GDX longer-term chart, you can see they go through sometimes multi-year periods of just dropping. So, but right now, while gold's nuts and gold is elevated, these miners are going insane. I think it also just depends on how long you really plan on holding it and stuff for. Like, if you mean only for like a couple weeks or something, then that's totally different. Sorry about that. One moment. My Chrome is freezing up on me. What time is the news in Cali time? Juan said. Cali time. Let's see. So the Jolts data comes out in about 18 minutes. It's going to be about... It should be like 8 a.m. your time, right? Either 8 or 7. Probably 7. 7 your time. I always go off Central, so that's why I said 8. But I think probably 7. Yep. Oh, yeah, you guys got it in the chat. I know that you're 2 hours behind where I am, and I'm Central, so makes sense. I will say, I don't look at the West Coast time very often. Nothing like the East Coast time. Palantir, look at that. Move it open. Wow, they ended up dying here. Dang. Palantir got a little bit crushed today. Yeah, pretty bad opening drop. Look at that. That was a lot of red candles in a row. And pretty thick ones, too. It's not even down 2%, but I guess maybe it just looks worse than it is, but pretty straight down, nonetheless. Tesla, same thing. Pretty straight down from open. 336 hit all the way down to 330 now. They were actually green, so they fell back a little bit. Was there some Tesla news this morning? The hell, why were they running so well in pre-market? Oh, Tesla stock rises. Barron says it might be the robots. I have been hearing a lot of hype with those robots. Elon yesterday said that 80% of Tesla's value will be in Optimus. Promises more master plan. Crazy. It's crazy. I think that Optimus would be very cool. Very, very cool. Got my tickets to see Dala in Vegas. Who is that, Mason? I think the market is waiting on that data before making a move, Chill said. It very well could be. Oh, it's a DJ. Okay. Sorry, I don't keep up with the stuff like that. What's up, Ariel? There we go. Glad to see you today. Figma earnings report today, Ryan said. FIG. Let's pull up the earnings calendar. Got closed with my power outage here. There we go. Yeah, so Figma on Wednesday or today and after hours. I'm really liking American Eagle today. I think that'll be a big one. Tomorrow, of course, Broadcom and Lulu will probably be the bigger ones of the week, but I'm sure we'll hear a lot about Salesforce tonight. How's GTLB been looking? GTLB. GitLab. This stock can go pretty crazy sometimes. Wow, it's been moving very well. They sniped the big money trade on this one. Wow. GitLab. Perfect support off GTLB there. Damn. What a snipe. I wonder if they're going to hold it through these earnings. Let me check if they're still in. Let's see. Ooh, they actually exited a majority of it. Dang, so they locked in some profits, smart by them. They pretty much did it too at the highs, which is nice. At least close. Okay. Yeah, that OI ran up to about 2,800 open interest, and then now it's all the way down to like 895. So they definitely got out a little bit. Or quite a bit. It does seem like they're still holding some, though. Nonetheless, that was a good snipe by them. They locked in a lot of gains. Let's actually see how much they locked in profits probably by now. I'm not going to, spend too long on it, but I'll generally let you know. All right, so they locked in something like 159% on that 1 million there. So that's not bad. 159%, that's pretty good. Made a nice extra 1.5 million essentially. Reddit's up 8%, Ryan said. Let's see, Reddit, RDDT. Oh, wow. Very strong from open. What do you think of a sell to open on Intel here? Flattened after that $25 level. Let's see, INTC. Sell to open. It's flattening a little bit. It's still kind of turning over. As long as you're going with strikes close to $20 or $19, I think it's very smart. I don't think I would sell too many at like 23 or anywhere like that. I definitely like more 20 or 18 or 19. Definitely sticking more with the support down there. Man, hopefully it dips a little bit more here and then you can target it again. In a better way, even. Hopefully premiums start rising. What's up, Jin? How are you doing? Make sure you're destroying that like if you're just joining up. Let's go, 11 likes today. Rookie numbers out there. Let's get those better.
All right.
Premiums are whack. I figured so, because it's so far away right now. I'm going to go check too. Yeah, you'd have to go out to like October. October 20 strike for 25 bucks. It's not very good. Yeah, we would need it to just drop a little bit more, really. Do you think SPY will touch yesterday's high of the day? Let's see. High of the day. Are you talking about high of pre-market? Up around 645? I really like this 644 resistance from Friday. It was the low of day Friday. And it was actually the low of day Wednesday in after hours whenever NVIDIA reported earnings. Ended up touching that low and bouncing right off of that on that day. And, of course, again Friday and now yesterday and today right off of it. So I'm watching that level close. If we break 644, I'll adapt to the upside possibly, but I'm more of leaning down here. Chill said, good question for a poll. Where are you guys gonna classify the high of day yesterday at? Are we classifying it at the pre-market high? I feel like that poll might confuse a couple, but go check Tessie real fast. Trying to come back off that dip this morning. That was a pretty big pullback. Tesla 336. High of this morning. Looks kind of strange in the way in which it popped up so much this morning and then pulled back. There were some articles about possibly looking at robots causing some hype this morning, but again, the pullback was pretty brutal there at open. Pre-market high listed at 644.80. Okay. Intraday at 642.30. Back to the NASDAQ. 570 resistance here. Pretty big level. Kind of like the SPY. Stuck at 644. This one's at 570 though. Same concept. Watch for a hit and rejection. It looks like QQQ is actually rejecting a little bit here. Getting a couple red minute candles after attempting a slight run. Little flatness, I guess, out of the SPY and QQQ. SPY is a little bit more negative than positive from open, but very choppy. A lot of up and down, back and forth action so far. NVIDIA is attempting a good recovery here after bouncing off 170. That's good if you're a NVIDIA bull. SMR still looks pretty solid, I'd say, today. You know, pretty good. Right around 10%. It pulled back the past like 5 to 10 minutes, but is starting to attempt another move up. We'll see if it can get up to that high of day, maybe break out again, or if we end up seeing a good resistance touch. It does seem like it started to break the intraday trend just a little bit as it broke down recently, so I am watching for the possibility of this overhead base to maybe hold. Again, though, SMR is pretty hot, and so far this pullback's not very drastic. Looks like a V-shaped recovery with Palantir. Whoa, it is. Yeah, it does look like the start of one. Nvidia has like a V-shape going on too. Maybe more of a W, it looked like, but nonetheless, close enough. Palantir. So, let's see here. A true V-shaped recovery would put it all the way back to like at least 158, if not even more closer to 159. That'd be pretty tough from this point, I think, but if there's any stock that can get a recovery going, it is Palantir, that's for sure. Looking at how much they have always went up recently. I do believe a shift is starting to occur, but you know, that wick that it touched this morning, look at how crazy this is. The past 4 trading days, essentially, excluding yesterday, it is touched essentially right at the bottom of these wicks and bounced. I mean, look at how weird that is. And it all came quickly, fairly close to open, except for this last one on the far left, which was after hours. But these 3 touches all came very, very fast. I mean, that is pretty insane. Pretty much right at market open, and the wicks extend down very well for a 15-minute chart. Kind of weird. Let's go to a 1 minute and look at some of those. Yeah, I mean, that is strange. Like, they've all been like 1 minute hits. That's insane. Let's zoom in a little bit. I'll show you. Look at this one. See how this 1 minute candle has like a big wide open wick down there? Like, it flushed and then bounced. Again, that was last Thursday. And then on Friday, again, the flush and the bounce. Now, yesterday it didn't do that. It actually reacted a lot different. But today, it was above and it flushed into it again and bounced again. That's so weird, right around 153. I gotta go check that out on the book map, which actually I have to open here really quick. Joe Papa said HIMS is up. HIMS. Quite well, too. The 44.20. I love that intraday action here. Looks solid. Two minutes for Jolts data, guys. 2 minutes. Sure, we'll see a wild move out of the SPY. Pull up the economic calendar. It should pop up in the top right away. Oops. Back to Tesla. Looking at the old reading right now. Getting bookmap open as well. There we go. Jolts reported at 7.181 million. Consensus was 7.4 million. That's not very good, guys. That is not very good. Let's go check out the SPY. We should be seeing some initial red from that. We'll see. It depends. It's technically not very good. It looked like it was way under expectations. Yeah, it was. Way under expectations. Came in at 7.181 million versus 7.4 million expected. That's a big difference. SPY is getting a green candle, though, initially. It went red at first and is now going green. Pretty insane. Pretty insane on that first 1 minute candle. We'll see if maybe the market catches up to it or not. I don't know. Pretty weird. Seems like not the craziest reaction I would have expected. Jolts data. Pretty fire, 7.181 million. Yeah, I'll make that picture look a little better. There we go. Very surprised that the SPY is ripping off that at first, but we'll see what happens. That's pretty insane. With it coming down under that, it actually shows that the labor market is weakening. So it's pretty crazy to see that the SPY went green there at first, but it seems like the SPY might just be doing its own thing. You know, it's in this pattern of falling, but it's falling in like a weird way where it's like, you know, it's very choppy to the downside. Man, SPY. Up, down, up, down. Too much chop today on the SPY. Too much. Might have to go look at some other opportunities out there. Maybe find some stuff that's moving like SMR, for example. Up to 42 bucks continues to be amazing. We've been looking at this one ever since open today. It's been essentially leading the watch list all morning. Him's been doing very well too. There we go, continuing up to 44.80 now. Go check Rivian here. Up 5%. Wow, straight up from open today for them. Up to 14.50. That is a huge, huge resistance there. Now here's one thought. With the market, or with the labor market weakening a bit, that might be forcing Powell to look at cutting rates. You know, so we have to keep that in mind, that the market's perception could be, okay, this labor data came out. This might solidify rate cuts a bit more. And that might actually, in turn, maybe be perceived as a good thing by the market because they want cuts. Now, again, there's a give and take. The market won't always perceive things correctly like that. So we just have to, take that with a grain of salt. I personally think that the SPY is just moving in its own way today. I mean, it's following a pretty clear downtrend. I think it just has a total mind of its own here today. It doesn't seem like the data really affected it too much. It didn't really rip. It didn't really fall. It's really just had the same kind of candles it's had all morning. So, yeah, so far, just big nothing burger with the Jolts. I'm surprised, though, that we're not seeing more downside action. What the? I'm waiting to see if the Jolts article starts to hit. Let's see if it's on Bloomberg here. Give me 1 second. Oh, there we go. Nope. Nothing too crazy. All right, SMR. SMR finally hits resistance, right? Well, if everyone is taking all the money from puts, yeah, I bet it's going to be wired going down to the big money or losing in their portfolio, Juan said. Let's go see that SPY move now. Another green candle. So far, so good. All right, let's do a poll. It's poll time. Let's see, where's that low? Where's our next good, support here from today? Say 641.70, okay. All right, so this is a pretty small range. So it's 641.70 to 644. We're essentially going from the low of day today up to the resistance from yesterday. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. Will it break to the upside, break to the downside, or stay in the middle of the range? That's really the only three ways that it can go. So vote it up. Let's go see QQQ. 570 resistance there. I like that level. 570, 570, 10 overhead as well. Bank of America touching resistance, rejecting back a little bit. $50.55, 50.60. Let's go see the Fed Watch tool. I'm waiting to see if these percentages go up a little bit. It was like, so 91.7% essentially before the Jolts data came out. So I'm going to see if today, if that starts to shoot up a little bit. Another thing that we can keep our eyes on is Kalshi, of course. We will pull that up really quickly. Kalshi. We will go check to see if the chance went up today. Yeah, it did. It did. It went from 81% chance up to 83% chance of a 25 basis point cut ever since that release. So it popped up 2% on Kalshi. That does show something though, doesn't it? Man, they need to get some better charting on here. Whoa. Plus 1,500. I hope I didn't do that. I don't even. Oh, Kalshi. Is this one even like legal? Which one's the one that's legal in the United States? I know that you have Kalshi and there's one other one I can't remember the name of. Polymarket, that's it. Which one can you use here? Or maybe they made it where you could do both now, but... Bank of America's pulling back. I mean, that's quite the pullback intraday for them. JP Morgan pulling back too. Nvidia had that nice run. They got right up to the highs from pre-market and rejected. Big V-shaped recovery for nothing now. 2 candles in a row of red. SPY, red, back to the downside. It's a disgusting wick, Ryan said. Juan said free falling. Tom, how do you feel about ONDS? I get asked about that one every once in a while. Looking at the daily, my gosh, it really is on fire, isn't it? Yeah, ONDS. While I will say that it is on fire right now and it's ripping back to the upside, I'd have to do a lot of research on this one because it's up so much that, I mean, I would even have to go ask the quant hunter himself because we'd have to see if this stock was a little bit overvalued. It probably is. I mean, maybe. We'd have to check, but I would almost bet, you know, based off of checking stocks in the past, that this one is. Nonetheless, though, it is very explosive here. Do they even have options? Let's see. Nice. Maybe not the most volume, but you know, decent sometimes. The bid-ask spread can get a little wild, but I've seen worse. You know, really not terrible here. Not the worst options chain. I thought I'd see a lot worse than that. You got into it under 125. Wow. Well, hey, congrats to you there. I don't know where you got out, but that is insane. Yeah, Chris, I'd say it's a little bit too high right now. I think it'd be a lot smarter to wait it out for a dip. At least a better dip than what we saw over the past 2 days. Howdy, Tangy. Tesla's attempting to bounce here. holding up pretty well, I'd say, for them. You know, they are testing that big trend line again. As we zoom out, we can see that, and they're actually at the top end of the wedge now, but they're on the outside of it. Kind of funny. Now testing that trend from the outside of the wedge. Interesting. Usually like this setup with Tesla, though. You know, we'll have to see how it plays out. Hopefully they can get some robot hype. Elon needs to show that robot, like, sprinting 20 miles down the road or something. That'd be cool if the robot could drive your car for you. Now, that would be insane. Could you imagine that? Like, what if they came out with their full self-driving, like Tesla FSD, but the Optimus robot could do it? I feel like they could do that. You might have to hook up some sensors to your car or something, though. I'm sure. Intraday, Tesla getting a little flat. Nvidia at least pulled back. See you later, Ryan. Have a good class. Back to school. Good morning, Tangy Man. Anything you're eyeing up today? I know SMR, some of the nuclear stocks coming back alive today, Tangy. I know they came back alive a little bit yesterday, but again, today looking pretty solid across the board for most of them. NNE pulling back up. SMR, the real fun player of the day. Oklo attempting a move. I didn't check the actual uraniums yet. URA, UEC. Yeah, it's still pretty good. Pretty good anyways. Not bad. I know gold was one of the better moving assets again. Kind of funny. Wow, SPY made a new low of the day and then ripped right back. Oh my gosh, the chop continues. Tangent would be like Star Wars, where all these droids operated the spaceships. Instead of just having them automated. That seems sus. You know, it'd be smart to have it automated, but you know, Tangy, you're right. But my point, I guess, is like, what do you do about, like, what if we didn't want to buy a new car, right? What if you could buy like a $30,000 robot that would do it instead of buying like a $50,000 car or something? I don't know. He's getting his bearings today, I see. You make a good point though, Tangy, I gotta say. You make a good point. Wex said, if that happens, then Optimus bots will be able to learn to steal my manual trans BMWs. Oh, no. That's so true, Weck. I had my Hellcat broken into 2 times. Or sorry, I had my Hellcat broke into and then my Jeep broke into. And I swear on the Hellcat that they were going to try to steal it, but they didn't, apparently. I don't know if they were actually going to steal the car and then realized it was manual and couldn't, or what, but I know, right? They would never be driving my good cars, that's for sure, Tangy. What kind of BMW you have, Wack? That's pretty cool. Millennial anti-theft device. Yes. It really is, too. It is. Yeah, it kind of sucks. QQQ and SPY keep looking like that they're gonna fall or pop, and then they immediately reverse in the other direction. Jin is also heading to class. My professor doesn't like me looking at my phone. That's all right, Jin. It's all right. You wish they'd come out with a robot that helps take exams. Man, they need to do something where you can, like, put ChatGPT, like, into your glasses or something. Now, that'd be the smart way to go, or hire someone to look at your glasses video feed or something. Yeah, hopefully, Jin. Be careful with that. Make sure you don't ever hurt your account too bad. An E46 ZHP. What is that? Oh, okay. Nice. These are pretty nice. I like that. Oh, yeah. These are a lot of the ones that they considered, like, the true driver's cars. Back before they made just the expensive toys now. AI contact lenses. Now that would be a wild one. See ya, Demure. Man, SPY's still chopping around like crazy there. SMR, though, amazing jump up to 42. Yeah, SPY posted its biggest candles of the day and then just nothing again. They didn't make an E46 M3 sedan. Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know that they didn't make one back then, but I always think of, like, when I hear better BMWs, I always immediately think of M3, M4, M5. Like, those three are the main three that I normally see or hear. Of course, there's other ones, but M5 is one of the really popular ones that I've seen around, especially, like, since I had a Hellcat. That one kind of was more like, it was like a BMW Hellcat, if that makes sense. They always got it to the same power, but nonetheless, SPY is still trying to recover here now again. Running into big resistance. Let's see how we go. Again, just had its biggest candles of the day and then totally slowed down. Tesla way back up to the high of the day, 336 resistance. Tessie right on. That was a good recovery. That was quite the recovery here. I mean, I think that it just posted 10... Yeah, it posted 10 green candles in a row here. On the 1 minute, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Z3M Roadster. Let's see what that looks like. Has the old feel, fully analog, throttled by cable. Whoa. Whoa. This thing's interesting looking. I never would have expected it to look like this. I feel like these are pretty rare, right? Munich Legends. Look at the Z8. Whoa. I don't think I like that one. This one looks weird. This looks like an old Corvette, like a 1950s Corvette. That's weird. Look at a 1950s Corvette here. Watch this. Oh no, hang on. I lied. Let's see. Here we go. It looks like one of these, like a 65 Corvette. That's weird how much they look like that, but... Wow, that little thing had a V8 in it? The Z8 did? Bavarian Murder Wagons. Best car on the planet, Tangy said. Tesla, new high of the day, by far, guys. By far, ripping out and above now. Volunteer, Tangy Man says, woohoo! Were you betting on that V-shaped recovery today, Tangy Man? Iceman says, look at silver, SLV. Whoa! Man, the past 20 minutes, SLV just straight up exploded. I said about somebody else having some green candles. Man, 10 green candles in a row on silver is pretty solid too. Yeah, that lower trend line on Tesla is critical. It just continues to hold up. Time and time again. GLD 328. My word. What a breakout and pop there. GLD continues to impress. Bought 10 shares of Palantir yesterday, Tansy said. Really? Okay, you're trying to buy up the dip? I could see that. I could see it. I am worried Palantir might go down more, but we'll see. Hopefully it proves me wrong again, because Palantir just continually does nothing but go up. How does Roblox look in the medium term? Let's see. RBLX. Medium term. They are in recovery mode right now. They are pushing back up towards 135. I could see 135 testing in the medium term, like over the next week or over the next even couple of trading days. I could see 135 having a potential test. I am pretty worried, though, overall, that like with this overhead resistance around 150, I feel like that's going to be really tough for Roblox to break, especially being in September here. And they have had a big rejection recently. So I'm a little worried. There's also been a little bit of negative press with like kids and stuff with Roblox. But again, they're kind of getting through that as a stock. So it's actually not terrible. It's just mostly, I would say, too overextended for my taste in the medium term, but if you have a solid strategy and you have a good thesis that that you're running and you're implementing and you trust, it could be okay to play. I specifically, though, really like that resistance at 135. That might be tough to break. Exactly, yeah, noticed all that. That's why I'm asking. Got a little put. Little put on it, okay. Yeah, we'll see if that resistance holds. It could end up getting pretty fun if it does turn over. Handyman says Palantir's new price target is 333. Whoa. $333. What's the all-time high here? So up around like 189, 190. 333. Essentially double today's price. Might as well be. I know it's not perfect, but don't forget about the poll. 19 total votes. That's some rookie numbers there. Let's get those votes in. Get those votes going. Also, like it up if you haven't yet. Appreciate the likes. Five minutes on the Palantir, doing very well, up to 161. Wow, a lot of good momentum on them on that recovery. Looking at the daily for Palantir, they are on a critical resistance, though. We do need to be a little wary of this resistance over the next couple trading days. If it ends up breaking this, though, it could be fun. Need to see a good breakout coming through, though. It might take a nice SPY pop for that to happen, but SPY's actually starting to hold up pretty well now intraday. It's, again, been so back and forth, it's hard to really pick one direction, but SPY is starting to move a bit more. We're starting to see it get up towards that high of the day. We had a couple crazy candles in the middle here, and since that point, just went right back to chopping. I don't think that Google's necessarily why Apple's up nicely. It could be. Maybe I'm wrong. It looks like it happened right around the same time. That might be the case. Let's see. Yep. Looks like it's mainly because of Google, yeah. I'm not seeing anything that would make me think otherwise right now. Yep. Ah. Because their deal is to have Google on, like, the iPhone user base. I see. Yep. Oh, yeah, Jake. Nice. Yeah, that's exactly why. Because of how they pay Apple to be that #1 browser on there. Safari sucks, so I'm glad it's not number 1. I never use Safari. You use Brave. Interesting. Okay. QQQ sitting at 570. Just broke out above it, made a new high of the day. So QQQ's kind of attempting a bit of a move here, guys. New high of the day established. SPY might go up for a 644 test. It seems like recovery mode is on here. If 644 breaks to the upside, watch out for 645.40, and then more ultimately 646.50. 646.50 is one of the more crucial levels overhead. Past that point, we can see right here, very nice hit, close to that. Technically at that high of that wick, it's very close to 646.50, and over here a lot of bounces too, but I guess you could say there's a bit of a range. You might as well just say 646 to 646.50. A lot of touches within there. Now that's if we start to get a true like run going here. Could possibly be some targets if you're someone looking for a scalp up or to be more bullish, which I'm personally not, but it is pointing that way at the moment. We'll see if it shows some signs throughout the day of weakening. That's where I think the better opportunities will come at, but check out some news here. I'm sure a lot of you don't care too much about this company, but Macy's had a good jump on earnings. Jumped over 20%. They are up quite a bit right now. Oh, they're actually up 20% at the moment, but Macy's move is bonkers. That business model is out of date at best. A lot of these retail clothing chains have gotten blasted, Tangi. I can't even believe how much some of them have gotten blasted. How's KSS? Yeah, like their chart's terrible. Past like 10 years or so. What was the other one? JWN? JWM? Nordstrom? They might have even went off the market. What else we got? Gap. Pretty rough too. Yeah, I think the online clothing market has destroyed these brands and stores. I guess it is good to see Macy's moving up a little bit though. Not overly negative, that's for sure. It's extra funny because I know people in management of all those companies, they're Karens of low IQ. Yeah, I could only imagine at a place like that. My fiance used to work at Kohl's a long time ago when she was in high school. SMR and BMNR keep me afloat today. SMR, awesome. I'm glad that one's keeping you afloat. One of the better stocks in the whole market today. BMNR, though, I didn't even realize this one was up on my watch list so far. Yeah, 7.9%. Breaking out well, holding 45 after it broke it today, even. You know what? BMNR has been dipping a lot on the daily. If this starts to become an area where it starts to rip back, could be a good opportunity. Could see a good opportunity there with it. Bitmine. If you guys didn't know, Tom Lee was the chairman of the board of this one. Bitmine Immersion. $46, rejecting back slightly. Overall, though, BMNR has had some fantastic action. How does Uber look? You think 100 is coming in the coming week or weeks? So Uber, you know, it's been a wild move this morning. Had a pretty insane jump. It did fall back, though, which is kind of shitty from that first initial opening move. But nonetheless, it had that great run. He said, how do you think it looks? Will 100 come in the next week or coming weeks? Let's see. 100 does seem like a big target overhead there. That would be the next big psychological level if Uber did start to break out above resistance, which unfortunately it hasn't been doing that. I don't really lean towards a $100 test. I kind of feel like that this double top on the daily could end up holding up a bit more where we might see some, like, I don't know, rejections back down, if that makes sense. So it's just something to think about. I personally feel like it's not that insane. I feel like that it's good to maybe look for $100 because it has held up pretty well. But here's one of my big concerns is that, like, whenever we do see Uber pull back, you know, it seems to pull back more than just, like, what we're seeing here on this one, right? Like, we've seen, like, 2 days of pullback. Even the last time it rejected at this specific resistance, it pulled back a lot more. Now, I'm not saying it has to go back to 85, but I am a bit worried that the 2 green days that we've seen the past 2 trading days are more of, like, a dead cat bounce, whereas, like, you know, we could end up coming up, testing resistance, and then ultimately, you know, selling off more over time. So that's kind of more of what I'm leaning towards here, given the setup. No problem, Anthony. What car is that in your picture? Looks pretty, whatever it is. I can only barely see it, though. Took some time, but your SPY calls are moving. Hey, there it is. 644 came up into play. Oh, is it really? I would have definitely known if I would have seen it a little bit bigger. All right, SPY is coming to test resistance. We might be getting through. We'll see if it breaks out or through or not. Definitely a big range, though, as we know. Very large area of resistance. It has been a pretty good recovery up to this point, though. It did start to point higher. Yeah, that SPY resistance there is very critical. Nice, Tangi said. Yeah, McLaren 720S. Those things are pretty sick. They make like 700 horsepower. I actually saw one at the gas station a little while ago. You guys call it last night that 643 to 644 was a critical range? Yeah, huge range, huge. QQQ, very nice breakout, even blasting through 571. Man, that QQQ move is insane. That is quite the breakout there. I really like how 570 is starting to break as well. Like that was a pretty good critical move here intraday. It was kind of like how the SPY was pushing back above 643 to get to 644. You know, very, very similar on the setup, of course. You know, they move damn near the same almost all the time. Granted, not all the time, but a lot of the time, of course. Don't forget, we are in September. I know that a lot of you already know this, but we have a lot of crazy data to suggest, especially at the beginning of September, that there can be some insane price action, some insane movement. We can see right here is some September seasonality. You can see how we're seeing a lot of downside action here with this overall seasonality. Especially the first week to 2 weeks. You know, we go out to like September 7th. We see a lot of downside action there. So as we get towards the end of this week, I'm definitely going to be a bit worried about some possible downside movement coming in. Now, again, we do have a lot more data coming out this week. Tomorrow we have ISM Services PMI. Friday, non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. So that is going to be a huge day there as well. Again, more jobs data. We'll have to see how the market perceives that, because the market can perceive things in some pretty crazy ways. Yeah, 644. Whoa. Little red candle. Little rejection here. Go check on some of these bigger tech stocks. Tesla, right at 340 resistance. There are some critical resistances coming up here. McLaren 720S. That's what we want to see. It's not yours, is it, Anthony? That'd be pretty cool. Check on Uber here. Nice resistance hit, 94.75, 94.80. Yeah, so resistance did hit, but we're looking solid nonetheless. Looking solid. What's up, Brynamite? Yeah, Uber had that wild up and down move. Maybe we'll get another like slight dip here, like we're seeing. Maybe a dip buy opportunity, kind of like earlier this morning. Plausible given the insane action here. It's only up 1%. So Tesla's attempting a break. Attempting a break today. Nvidia rejecting back through 172 now. It got through that nice resistance and started to run, but immediately hit resistance and has slowed up now. Kind of strange. Supra is actually the modern version of the C3 Coupe. Is it really? I've heard a lot of people talk about that, how they work on those together. That's interesting. Go check out App. App loving $500. Pretty big resistance. Mostly BMW parts. Yeah, it is. Let's go check the CCJ. $78 coming up. CCJ, not terrible. Let's go check on Palantir real fast. 161 overhead resistance. BMNR is up. What could be the next big resistance there? BMNR is moving pretty well intraday, I'd say. Watch 46. You can see 4610 overhead as well. BMNR. Reddit has been so good since the April dip. What hasn't been good since the April dip? But yeah, Reddit is definitely been one of the better movers, I'd say, over that time. Let's go ahead and plot it out. Okay, so to the high, it went up 215%. It is pretty rare to find something like that. Let me get the 3 stars up. Boom. Michael Knight says, "No, I noticed these summer markets, everything tends to top out at 11 a.m. That's because everyone has to go play golf, Michael. Didn't you know we had to get our rounds in? Afternoon runes. What? Gosh. Afternoon rounds. Rounds in. Yeah, it's like RuneScape. No. Tongue twisted myself, Michael. Wizard activities. Chill nose. That's funny. No, golf. Go play some golf. If you were still confused. Fessy, nice movement. Man, it got through 340. Well, you know, we keep watching it here, and it seemed like it was going to end up rejecting again. It was sitting right on resistance and ended up coming right through, up 3.77% now. That's awesome. Should I sell these SMR calls or not? It's weakening. You're probably going to want to look at it because it's up so much intraday. It's going to be pretty tough for it to continue. Now, it is on like my very first support at 42. You know, you could maybe see if it holds this, but if it starts dipping much below here, it's going to really show that the overall trend is starting to shift a little bit and that at least it's slowing down a lot more. Doesn't mean it has to turn over all day, but if it starts to break this support, I would be a lot more worried about it. Hey, don't forget tonight is the live Q&A. Don't forget. Let's go, let's go. Hey. Did you guys see in Fantasy Foosball that there was a trade? There was a trade here. Aaron Rodgers and QD Judkins for D. May. Or Mai. So we're doing a quarterback swap already. I see. No one that plays is probably even in here right now, but nonetheless, first one, I think, of the league, right? Up 13%. Oh, okay, that's all you're up? Or the stock's up 13%. Yeah, I would definitely look to cut then if you were up 13% and the support gives out, because you'll probably end up going red slightly at some point if that's the case. Let's go see how the rate cut probability looks. Did it jump at all? Ooh. Oh, yeah, it did. All right, guys, we're probably going to call the stream there. I appreciate you guys all joining up today, though, and sticking with us, especially the lurkers out there. Thanks for throwing us on in the background even and just listening to a lot of the cool moves and a lot of the bigger stocks that are running here. We can see the SPY today. Again, it's been pretty bullish. We're straddling 644. It's actually trying to make for another run right now, and it's just made a new high of the day. There we go. Just as I said that, SPY started breaking out once again. So 644 is starting to break. The move is starting to accelerate a bit. Wow, okay, we're getting some good directional action, which is a lot better than the first 30 to 45 minutes of trading today, where we chopped around like crazy, even with the data release. So, all right, guys, let's go. Let's have a great rest of the day. I will talk to you later. Make sure that you're subscribed. If you're not, do not forget that we have the live Q&A tonight. I hope to see you all there to expand your trading mindset a little bit, expand your strategy set. Of course, we'll be going over a lot of advanced option strategies, things like that, and you can join up and ask any question that you want. I'm sure that if you're in the trading floor already, you already know that, but if you're not yet in the trading floor, join up on the link I'm sending in the chat. Use code BIGMONEY for $100 off of yearly. Yeah, code BIGMONEY. Let's go. All right. Hope everybody has a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you later. It's time for some lunch. Have a great one.